Hi again, everybody. I thought I'd make an attempt to at least talk for a little bit about some of the poems in each set. I think there's 9 poems in the Carpe Diem unit, and the video being 18 minutes would take forever to upload and just be really tedious for you. So I'm going to try to do Carpe Diem poems in 2 minutes or less and just give you some big things to look at. So poem set one, To the Virgins, to make much of time. Wish I could read it with you. We'd have fun reading it in class. Poetry should be read out loud. Please read it out loud. And part of this is I'm going to go quickly also because the poem posting directions say I want you to notice things about the poem. So things right away I notice is there are 4 stanzas. Each one is a quatrain of 4 lines. They tend to be relatively short. Gather your rosebuds while ye may. Old time is still a flying, and this same flower that smiles today, tomorrow will be dying. I notice a rhyme scheme: A B, sun, run, getting, setting, C D C D. I'm gonna hopefully you'll notice a lot of imagery in this one. Because these are all carpe diem, think of the seize the day poetry. A lot of the seize the day poetry not only is about going out and enjoying life, but often it's trying to get a woman to marry or sometimes just succumb to a suitor. You'll see that in the next couple poems. So this is a nice short one. Look at what the poet does. Look at words and images and sights and sounds that are repeated, and then see what you can do with that. How does that connect to the theme of Carpe Diem? Go, lovely rose. My notes are really up here. Think of this as a command. Go, lovely rose. Even though rose is capitalized, I don't read that as a name. Read this as a speaker talking to a flower and saying, hey, flower, go over to this woman, tell her that's young, and have her look at you and have her see her own fate in yours. Basically, this is encourage her to come out and let her beauty be admired by me, the speaker, so that she doesn't die without letting her beauty be appreciated. Um, so look at the metaphors there and see what you can do with that one. This is one of the most famous, one of the most quoted poems of all time, To His Coy Mistress by Andrew Marvell. Um, I don't know whether this is a great one to discuss in class. I'm going to miss doing this one, but this is basically if we had enough time to go slowly, I would cherish you and do all this stuff. So look at all these images and references to time and going slow. Even though the speaker does give a little bit of a, I think he lets us see through his kindness a little bit when he says, 100 years should go to praise thine eyes and on thy forehead gaze, 200 to adore each breast. So he's gonna look at her eyes for 100 years and each breast for 200. Let you know a little bit more where his mind might be at, and then it really picks up in the second stanza. So this is if we had time, but we don't. This is one of the greatest stanzas to me in all of, we'll call it romantic poetry. Um, Look at how he actually tries to get her to sleep with him. This idea of if she dies a virgin, then worms shall try that long preserved virginity. I don't know that that's the most romantic image to put in a poem. Either you sleep with me or worms will take your virginity. So and then the passion comes. So if we had time, but we don't. Now therefore, in other words, so let's do this. I think this is one of the most passionate lines. Fantastic, fantastic imagery. Let us sport us while we may, and now like amorous birds of prey. Replace the word sport there with a certain more colloquial word that starts with F, and you'll get the idea of what he's going for. Some people really like this one. Some don't like the speaker at all. I think this is a great one to discuss. Let's see, the shortness of life. This one, pay attention to the stanza length and just the reflection on life. Pay attention to repetition, use of question marks, and yeah, just all of the imagery of the poem. Um, that's all I got to say on that one, I guess. I'm trying to go quickly. How much time? We're 4 minutes in. Summer Day by Mary Oliver. First thing I notice, it starts with 3 questions. Ooh, look, and then looking ahead, it ends with questions too. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the blackbird? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, going from the large, the world, to bigger animals, swan and black bear, to smaller animal, grasshopper, to more precise, this grasshopper, I mean, this literal one that I'm sitting and looking at right now, if I were the speaker. So see if you can get the mood of this one. This is a good one for modern times where the world is crazy and chaotic and we might feel lost and we don't know what's going on. But there are certainties. We can go out in nature. We can appreciate the beauty around us. We can try to appreciate the small things rather than get caught up in all of the stuff that we really can't control. So this one might be good for modern times. Shakespeare. Shakespeare's famous for his sonnets. He wrote 154 of them. I mean, obviously also famous for his plays, but 154 sonnets. A Shakespearean sonnet is always made of exactly 14 lines. It is 3 quatrains, 3 groups of 4 lines, and a rhyming couplet, 2 lines at the end that rhyme. And the rhyme scheme is A B, C D, C D, E F, G G. Obviously the same numbers rhyme. What's cool about Shakespeare's sonnets is they're also written in iambic pentameter. Pentameter means that every single line has exactly 10 syllables. Iambic means that every other syllable is stressed, so it gives it a rhythm. Ba dum, ba dum, ba dum, ba dum. It talked about that in one of those introductory videos, so it makes real sonnets actually pretty darn difficult to write. They tend to be formal because of the rigid structure that the author has to follow. Sonnets tend to be more formal and serious, and usually the sort of I don't know if answer is the right word, but answer to the poem is lies in the final couplet at the end. The final couplet gives it kind of solidifies the meaning or sometimes turns what came before on its head. So again, look at images of, I'd say, time passing, age, and again, kind of live for today. Anything to do with time can connect to Carpe Diem. Oh, this one's great. Bonus, I encourage you not only to read about Percy Bysshe Shelley, but go into YouTube and I was gonna say Google, but YouTube Breaking Bad Ozymandias. Bryan Cranston, the lead character in Breaking Bad, if any of you watch that show, reads this poem. It's a commercial for one of the most critically acclaimed episodes of TV ever. There was an episode of Breaking Bad called Ozymandias. So a guy goes out and he talks to somebody who saw a broken down, beat up statue out in the middle of the desert. All that's left is a sunken head and the words, "My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair." Powerful lines here. "Nothing beside remains round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare." Nice alliteration. "The lone and level sands stretch far away." Nice alliteration throughout the end, and emphasizing that just vast emptiness. So the juxtaposition of "look on my works, ye mighty, and despair" to nothing, decay, colossal wreck. It's boundless, bare, lone, level. The sand stretch far away. All things fade, even the works of great kings. So this ties into the idea of hubris. Hubris is excessive pride. So Ozymandias had excessive pride and is, like all, reduced to nothing but dust. And I think this is finally, in the long haul. Hopefully you can pick up on a little play on words here. In the long haul, spelled out H-A-U-L, and you got a different meaning. Look at the images of life in this one. Who is the speaker? What is going on with him? How did he live his life? Think of why the author uses a tapestry as a central metaphor. Think of what a tapestry is, something that is woven not just like a blanket, but a kind of a decorative blanket to tell a story, story of life. Think of what it would be like to be in a long hall. You're going down a long passageway, and then again that sort of play on words. So this one, pay attention to the mood of the speaker, how he lived his life, and I don't know what else he could have done. So there's your Carpe Diem poems, all about in some way or another seizing the day. Do we take advantage of the days? Do we just let them pass? Do we live for today? Do we seize the moment? All things you can think about as you reflect on your life and the poems that are going on now. Hopefully this was a little bit helpful and you enjoy the poems. See you next unit. our next set.